Hi, that's Mort Weiss again. I'm going to read you another one of my articles from the Mort Report series and All About Jazz. I write for that very, very hip website. This one is a free stream of consciousness, for the most part. I got my feet wet on it, and I haven't seen it for a while, but it looks interesting. It's called Brief History of Ragtime to Three-Quarter, a.k.a. Waltz Through the Cosmic Thought Process. Now, I expect you to remember that. There'll be a test after I read it. This is segmented in different modes, and the first section is called Opening. Screaming through the quagmire of being, I see, nay, I feel the justification of the heat of the singularity of thought, yearning of and for all energies spinning, not only in the dance of Shiva, but in the fulfillment of the manifest destiny of understanding and love that gives forth its eternal fires of hope and the many tomorrows that can and will exist in the immutable paradigms of the reception and order, thus bringing together the complete schism of an entity of pre and or post existence on the planes of destiny thereof, enabling the existence of the mere act of existing itself to be put into a comprehensive matrix of its own particles of energy that pour forth the composition of thought and tranquility in this highly charged, energetic swirl of being. The next section I call it Argo, and I have here read slow and meaningful. A calm engulfs me, a feeling of completeness and belonging touches deep into my aching heart that has so long gone unnourished, uncared for, ununderstood, so alone. I do sense her presence next to me. Does she comprehend the completeness of the meaning of our flight, high and above the valleys of deceit and envy? We soared high and through the white clouds of joy. Yeah, joy, yes, no sadness. No sadness. Hand in hand, mind in mind, our fledgling flight of knowledge and self-discovery beginning to diminish as we glide slowly and tranquilly to the plane of existence from whence we emerged. We will now part, each of us going our separate ways to an unknown destiny that we, all of us, must travel to, as the force of all that mobilizes dictates that we must ultimately gravitate. I cry out in silence to my beloved. I scream to her, no, 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 as she walks to the crest of the hill. In the setting sun, she tops the rise and starting down the other side, grows less and less and is forever gone. And once again, I am alone, so very alone. The next one I label Moderado. Read laid back and read with a beat. Standing at the rail of a vortex of being, I cannot help but to be drawn inward to the many, many factors of the serendipity of thought and action that dwell within the frame of reference that I make a judgmental observation, comprehension to those entities that dwell in the dungeons of my very being. Canst thou not feel the presence of a Homeric poem from the very air that we breathe? An indisputable, total, and complete remorse makes itself known to my awareness of truths and lies that nourish my soul from the outer regions of thought and creation and the eternal fires of birth, life, and change. To this, then, I yield to the carrion culture that all must feed. The life force that once mobilized us is not but a burned out shell of once was and now never ever will be again. Your tears of loss mean nothing to me now. I am but a memory a once wisp of wind that caressed your life, only for the moment that it took to pass. Doth thou not feel any loss? I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. The next is called Allegro. Read briskly, feel rather than look at the words. Every time we say goodbye, I cry a little. Every time we say goodbye, I die a little. Every time we say goodbye, I try a little. Every time we say goodbye, I a little. Every time we say goodbye, tears a little. Every time we say goodbye, I diminish. Every time we say goodbye, God, every time we say I don't give a shit a little, we must never say a little, I love you, I need you, I need you. Damn it before you, please, please never say goodbye a little. The next one is Presto vivace, i.e. read very, very fast. Nay, scan. Do not try to focus on the words. Repeat over and over again, and soon a pattern will make itself known. Trust me, it will. Mort. Zoom! It comes so quickly, says Lisa's indelible mark of my vagrant soul. Left untended but to your feelings of the press and deferential love gone blind. Comes as no sense of priority as subsequence and use of the immutable faculty and gossamer's and less ponder endless questions of time and movement. Machiavellian demands that there is no absolute corridors of thought transference into what metaphoric principle of thought transcends the endless velocity and concurrence of time itself. This is my testament. So be it. And finally, Doce, which means sweet and beautiful in Italian. My song is ending now. As I exit center stage, my performance but a memory to those who watched and heard. The theater door will close behind me, never to open again. The cold, sad, gloomy winter wind beckons to me in its mournful dance to the endless horizons that seem much closer now than in the morn. A slow shuffling gait brings me closer and closer to its vastness of thought and oneness with the regions of being that encompasses its scope of existence. The hills, the snow, the laughter, her laughter, sing throughout my every fiber of feeling that this tired, very used body of mine can resonate with all of the love that a man, this man, me, will never, never know again. The song has ended, but finito thus. Afterthoughts about and from me. I was born in 1935 during the Great Depression in McKeesport, Pennsylvania. Came to Los Angeles in 1945 with my parents in a 1941 Chevy, Highway 40 to St. Louis to the very old two-lane Route 66. Grew older in LA. Ran, played, surfed its beaches, hiked in the hills, nearby mountains. Saw and felt the magic that permeated the very air in and around the dying Hollywood of old. I worked and performed in the new medium television throughout my teens, graduating in Susan Miller Dorsey High School, June 1952. I was drafted into the Army November 1954 through 1956, the 1st Infantry Division, the Big Red One. Upon my return to civilian life, I took a look around me and let the good times roll. I worked and played tenor sax in and around Hollywood, Reno, Las Vegas, and various rock and roll bands and rhythm and blues bands. Learned how to drink. Take uppers to hit just that right groove feeling. At 23 years of age, knows no boundaries or limits, only the groove. Oh yeah, baby. Only the groove, man. 1957, formed my own band, Mort Weiss. The W-I-S-E, and the Wise Men. We, in the parlance of the day before yesterday, rocked. We literally built a nightclub of all the people we drew in each night. We rocked Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Reno, Long Beach, and people and places. And so many things like that boggles the mind that they don't even exist anymore. Did they really ever? I wonder if they really ever. It's in my head. I don't know. It was such a long time ago. I partied and I partied and I played my horn and I partied nonstop for 3 or 4 years and met and lived with someone off and on, fathered 2 children, a girl, a daughter, a boy, a son, partied and played my horn. 1962, my mother committed suicide, partied, played my horn, did numerous jail times, mostly for being drunk and disorderly and fighting, partied, didn't play horn much. It was really sex, drug, and bebop and vodka, cheap wine, Benzedrine, Dexedrine, 3 packs of Salem's and hash, and drove an ice cream truck, worked as a roofer, a deconstructing crew, didn't party much. Painted this 2-story office building, inside and out by myself on Melrose and Cahuenga, man, 3 blocks west of Vine Street in Hollywood. Was a kept man, a gigolo, if you will, in Hollywood for about a year. Movie industry wives and like that. Didn't have an automobile for 5 years. Ended up living in the streets of LA, sleeping in all-night laundromats. Got lucky and got a week's lodging at a Salvation Army board and care rest home for all the broken down out people of the streets. Finally woke up in a padded cell in the main police building downtown Los Angeles, and as I stood there naked, looking at the rust-colored walls and floor and ceiling, it very strongly occurred to me that I just might be doing something wrong with my life from that moment on. Well, here I am, at 78 years old and feeling real good. Hope you all dug the read. I'll remain Mort Weiss. See you down the road.
What are you feeling right now? I mean, besides just overwhelming, yeah?
Yeah, I guess I'm feeling life.
And that's what's in those articles is life, man. Wow.
And I told you when I drove back, and you know that road, it goes up, it's a beautiful road up into the Sierras.
Yeah.
And that's when I drove back, and that's when we were living on Bronson, just north of Sunset.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Sandy had just been born. And that's probably the only time I really felt this thing about I have a baby girl, and I couldn't wait to get back to hold her. That was him.
Wow.